Yo, what's up? It's Property King Keith, real estate investor, landlord, and somebody who actually grew up in Section 8 system. So when I talk about this topic, I'm not just speaking as a landlord, I actually lived it. Today I'm going to break down how to find your perfect Section 8 tenant. Someone who pays on time, take care of your unit, and stays long term. Whether you are brand new or looking to level up, this video will save you time and headaches. Trust me when I say this. You can make a ton of money with Section 8 housing, but you can also lose a ton of money as well. So learn from my mistakes and let's jump right in. Why does the Section 8 model make sense? Let's be real. Section 8 is one of the most slept on rental strategies in the game. Honestly, it gets a bad rep in the housing world, mainly because of the Section 8 selection. But here's what I've learned as a landlord. With having half of my portfolio with Section 8, it's the patience. Patience pays off. Don't rent your property just because you need money or you want to avoid a vacancy. Sometimes my units sit for 2-3 months, and I'm okay with that. I'd rather wait for the right tenant than to rush and end up stuck with the wrong one. Evictions are headaches, and they cost way more than the little time. I think I pay around $300 for my attorney to file an eviction. But here's why the model makes sense. You get guaranteed monthly income. Payments hit every month on time, even during economic downturns. During the pandemic, I didn't have no issues collecting my money. High demand for quality housing. Good tenants, High demand for quality housing. Good units go fast, especially when they're well maintained. And all of my units, they rent within the first few weeks of me posting them for rent. You have lower vacancy risk. Once you're in the system, tenant referrals, waiting list keeps your unit full. You know people can't hold water. So once a tenant sees that you're a good landlord, they tell everybody and their mama. Longer lease renewals. Tenants tend to stay longer, reducing the turnover and readiness. My longest tenant is about 4 years, and I don't think she's going to go anywhere. And that's why I like buying single family houses, because people tend to stay longer than they would if they were living in a duplex or maybe even an apartment. But I'm telling you, I've had some of the best tenants come through this program. But you gotta know how to screen the right people, because the wrong one will cost you. And I cannot stress this enough, but let me show you how I screen my tenants. So this is what I look for. Strong rental history. No evictions, no bankruptcies, no criminal history. I barely want you to have a speeding ticket, you know what I mean? I barely want you to have a misdemeanor or anything. But I'm that strict. Good landlord references with no outstanding balances. You can't be out here running up the check on other landlords thinking you're going to rent my stuff. It ain't happening. Do they show up on time? Are they respectful? Are they prepared with their paperwork? First impression is everything. And if they sloppy now, it usually doesn't get any better later. Are they transparent with you? Do they dodge questions? Do they tell you about their past evictions, job history, or family situations up front? Honesty goes a long way. Some tenants will lie and say that they don't have any evictions or give you a sob story. As a landlord, I don't care. If somebody come to you and tell you a sob story without you asking, then 9 times out of 10, they trying to run game on you and make you feel sorry for them. So do not fall into that trap. Do they have clear communication? From application to the move-in. How they communicate tells you everything. And I want somebody who's going to text back, answer my calls, follow directions, answer the emails. You want somebody who's attentive and act like they want to rent your place and that they value you as a landlord. Because if they don't value you, then they're just going to walk all over you. Do they have financial discipline? Even if they only have to pay $50 to $100 a month, I want to know that they're going to pay on time And that attitude carries into anything and everything else. Um, some tenants be having little side hustles, but I prefer to find a tenant who actually, has a job, and that they've been on that job for 2 years. So sometimes, like, let's say if the rent is $1,000, uh, Section 8 will make them pay like 200-300 bucks, depending on their income. So the portion that they're responsible for, I want to make sure that they'll be able to cover that every month. Also, long-term goals. Just because somebody's on Section 8 don't mean they're a bad person. They just fell into some financial hardship. Or just going through some things, and just, how it be sometimes. So I ask my tenants all the time, where do you see yourself in the next 2 to 3 years? And the answer I'm looking for them to say is, I want to be here for a while because whatever reason, whatever situation. And that's the best tenant, because um, best tenants want stability, not just crash pads. They don't want somewhere to just stay for a month or two. They need somewhere for 2, 3, 4 years. And that's how you reduce your tenant turnover. And I think my average tenant turnover cost is about $1,000 to $2,000 for each turn, and that usually covers like paint, flooring, and some light bulbs, and some other like miscellaneous stuff. Um, and how I screen the tenants is I call them on the phone. I ask a few qualifying questions, just to weed out the bad people and to see if it'll be a good fit. You want to know as much up front as possible. You just want to know who you're dealing with and what you're dealing with. Um, you don't want to walk into any surprises. This is very important. The voucher size. Only show units that match what they have been approved for. Don't be out here showing people with a 2-bedroom voucher a 4-bedroom house, because the voucher won't cover it. So don't even do it. And don't let them persuade you into doing something like that. Even if they say they can cover it, don't do it. Full application. Make sure you get, ID, landlord history, income, check the credit, criminal, check all that stuff. And home visits. Home visits is a secret weapon. It shows everything you need to know. I never personally asked the tenant, could I come inside their house? But I do sometimes, before I meet with them, I'll ride by the house that they currently live at and check the outside and see how they upkeep the yard and stuff like that. And you'd be surprised what you find in people's yards. Red flags. This is a big one. These are absolute no-goes for me. I'm just pretty straightforward. I'm one way all the time. So if they're urgent to move in with no paperwork, that's a no-no. If they don't have no landlord references, that's a no-no. Unclear voucher details, that's a big no-no. I'm not about to be out here. You're not about to be gaslighting me, wasting my time. It ain't happening. If they're in a rush and they want to bypass the inspection time, that's a big no-no. If they can't explain their past housing situation, you'd be surprised what people try to hide. So don't be desperate, be disciplined, and this is how you protect your cash flow and your property. So to wrap it up, the perfect Section 8 tenant is out there. You just want to be intentional about your process and have everything structured correctly. When you get it right, Section 8 becomes the most stable income stream in your portfolio. If you're ready to start wholesaling and eventually own Section 8 rentals that pay you every month, let's talk. Click the link in the description and book your 30-minute strategy call with me. It's no pressure, just a real conversation about your goals and how to get there. Whether you're just getting started or you're stuck in the middle, I'll help you figure out your best move. I'm Property King Keith, and trust me when I say this, you're just one deal away from changing your whole life. Drop a comment if this video helped you, and don't forget to hit the like button and smash the subscribe button for more game every week. Peace.